Yeah, I think you're
See
right.
your vapor coming right here. You put a tear in your eyes right there.
Oh.
Now, tomorrow,
Ah.
if you're there tomorrow,
Ah.
it won't do nothing. If you start them the night before, the strength of your mask, that vapor comes up in your face.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Go on, try that. Go on. I dare you. Oh, that was ammonia.
The ammonia
I
comes
think.
up.
Yeah. Got my groceries. Adamsville, West Tennessee, a small town of just over 1,000 where church on Sundays probably the noisiest recreation. Who would have thought then that one man, a local sheriff, could have put away 7 times the town's population in 6 years? His name was Buford Pusser, and everyone round here knows who he was.
We're standing here in front of the home of Buford Pusser. It was the last home that he lived in. He lived in this home for about the last 3.5 years of his life.
What did he achieve as sheriff of the county?
Did away with 57 stills his first year in office.
Whiskey stills, moonshine.
Yeah, moonshine.
He cleaned out the state line now, as we always called it. This was called the Dixie Mafia. And he was fighting illegal whiskey making, illegal whiskey drinking, prostitution, illegal gambling, and so forth and so on. Just whatever youth would connect with the organization.
Stepped on a lot of toes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Buford's daughter, Dewana.
Hello.
And his granddaughter, Madison.
Hi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to
I'm
meet you.
Dan.
I'm Dewana Pusser, and this is my daughter,
Hi.
Madison. This is Buford's granddaughter.
Hi, Madison. How's it going? All right. This is Charlie, and this is Steve.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
And that's a tripod.
I was 13 when my father was killed, and I was the first one there to him after the accident happened. We'd been to the fair together, and he was killed that evening, and we'd been to the fair together, and we were following behind him, and he had the accident. However, we were the first ones to get there, but we weren't close enough to see exactly what happened. But I always will believe that it was not just an accident. I believe that he was murdered. I do believe that they finally killed him. And now, one of the reasons why is because my father was backing, who was running for governor at the time, Ray Blanton, and they had a kind of a deal that if Dad backed him and he won, that my dad would be the commissioner of safety. And if he was commissioner of safety, then he would be all over the highway patrol and the sheriff's departments and so forth, that he would come back and be able to open up some cases that were pertaining to the state line whenever he was in office. And there were some folks who really did not want those things opened back up.
The shoes he had on the night he was killed is in the far showcase over here. He wore a 13.5 D, and his hands were as big accordingly as his feet. I believe he had the biggest hands I've ever seen on a man. This entire family and I lived a tragic, stressful life.
I was only 6 years old when my mother was killed. She was killed in an ambush back in 1967. And any time that a child loses a parent, you know, it's very traumatic. But when you're 6 years old and you lose a parent in such a brutal way, violent way, it has lasting effects on you. And that was very, very hard. The attempts that were made on my father's life, plus the things that were done to us. They shot into our house. You know, we were threatened to be kidnapped, and things were happening all the time. So, considering I had a childhood like I did, I'm surprised that I have it together.
This man was shot 8 times and stabbed 6 times.
I was married the first time. I was barely 16 years old. I had my first daughter when I was 17 years old, and I was married for 7 years, and I've been married and divorced 3 times, so that may be,
Wow.
that may be the...
That's how it manifests itself.
Yes, we can see the ripples now.
He was not perfect. He was a human being. I'm sure he did a lot of things he shouldn't, but he got organized crime out of this part of the county, and I have respect for him for that. And he's a hometown boy, and I just watched him kind of grow up and just always liked him.
Back then, you could use different tactics than you can now. He could not get away with the things now that he did back then, but the times were different.
Do you think more Buford Pussers would maybe help the country?
Well, I think nowadays it's a little different than the way it was as far as law enforcement. Dad could use a lot more strength, a lot more direct tactics. You know, now the criminal to me has too many rights.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do.
Too many advantages?
Yes, I do. I do not think that it's right that we take this criminal over here and house him and give him schooling and let him live off the government, and we feed him, we clothe him, we educate him, and he goes out and he either does a crime again or makes millions by writing a book. I don't think that's right. I think if you do the crime, you need to do the time, and I think it should be hard punishment. That's just my opinion.
He had his own way of justice. And I think that's why people, took note of him.
Our theory was an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And I believe in the chain gangs, too.
Good morning. This is the Trophy Building. Enjoy your tour and thank you for coming to Graceland.
Well, it was just up the road. Memphis, where Martin Luther King was shot. Memphis, where blues really got going in the 50s. Memphis, a little rough now, seen better days. Going to Tennessee without visiting the King's Castle? Well, it's just not done.
Elvis Aaron Presley, the man, the myth, the legend. Graceland, his home, our chance to see how he hung out. And that's Graceland with no S, by the way. A peanut butter and banana sandwich in the rain, rocking good news. Are you typical of the kind of people that you get at Graceland? I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm English. We've never been here.
First time.
Oh, do you like peanut butter and banana sandwiches?
I can't wait to get one.
Oh, have this.
Wow. Hey.
I haven't touched it. Go for it. I'll have this one.
Great.
You will never see Graceland. Graceland is a great leveller. Elvis fans from every corner of the globe instantly share something in common with each other when they arrive. Not hair, not clothes, not sandwiches.
I've noticed a lot of people with headphones on. I mean, doesn't that somehow, detract from everything? They can't hear the birds singing and stuff.
Well, no, actually, a lot of people love the acoustically guided tour. They're feeling really closer to Elvis because they can hear him singing in the background.
Did his bum, his posterior, actually sit in them?
Well, actually, he did.
So what am I doing?
Why did it all go kind of pear-shaped, his body, I mean? Why did he get kind of chunky?
Well, actually, it wasn't as the public perceived it. You'll see more pictures of closer pictures, not television-produced pictures.
Right.
And it wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad.
You will never see Graceland. You will never see Graceland. All my wants and all my
What about when he was in one of these soft tops? I mean, what about his hair? Wouldn't that go everywhere? Because he had very big hair, didn't he, at one point?
Well, if you notice in some of his movies, he does have really beautiful hair, but he would have it in different ways, kind of scurried look and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sometimes he didn't mind me.
He liked that rough, windswept look. Me too. I like that look. You couldn't tell us what the plane's like in the house because we weren't allowed inside.
It was Elvis Incorporated. When you camp out in America's sticks, there's no such thing as a free fire if you can't light your own. Us foreigners always get grilled by curious natives who want to fill in the information gaps their TV has left them with.
As far as culture, how are we so much different from you all? What is the big difference?
Middle-aged men don't wear baseball caps in England.
But I heard there was a bunch of punk-haired kids in London that just roam the town and
do as they please.
Yeah,
is that true? See, we hear all this
No, that was
stuff.
1977. Do you thank your lucky stars you don't live in England?
No.
yeah, but we're glad we don't eat their beef. Everybody there was pink mohawk, gonna knock me out when I got off the plane and rape me.
We still watch Benny Hill on Sunday mornings. My favorite part is when we would pop the little guy on top of the head, It was great.
The mohawks with pink hair and
Yeah.
just ravaging the streets.
There's only one guy with a pink haircut, and he does it for the postcards.
Yeah, well, that's what I saw on the news.
As indigestion set in, I wondered if our media was irresponsible in concentrating too heavily on the mad eccentricities of overseas life as well. It wasn't until next week that I realised you never can concentrate too much on this lot.